Hello and welcome back to the U Up podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. How are you? What's going on?
I'm good.
Chilling?
I'm back from Memorial Day weekend. If you're listening to this in real time when we're recording, I haven't yet to leave yet, but I'm going to San Francisco.
San Francisco.
And Sonoma.
As we know, favorite town of mine. Love San Fran. Beautiful.
Yeah. Excited to be back.
And Sonoma, we're doing like a wine tour thing.
Like a wine, just a quick trip, like one night.
A quick jaunt.
Yeah.
Love it.
I love that area. It's like just California just makes, it's like it's a place to be outside.
It feels healthier.
Yeah.
Immediately healthier.
Is it? I don't know.
Just breathing in the air, the sea air. Ooh. Doesn't it feel a foghorn? That's what's going on in San Francisco?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think of a foghorn. Ooh. Is that like a whale? We're taping back to back, so it's going to be a little off the rails.
See. Yeah. So that's my Memorial Day weekend plan.
Happy Memorial Day weekend to you.
Thank you to the troops.
To the troops, to the service men and women for this great country of ours. Thank you.
Yes. What are you up to?
Nothing. Chilling.
That's good. You deserve.
I'm relaxing.
You know what? You deserve it.
Thank you. I'm relaxing. I don't know. I'm looking ahead to this summer. I don't know.
You excited about this? How are you feeling about the summer?
I don't know how I feel. I'm anxious. I feel like every day I get older, closer to death's door.
Well, it is funny. I feel like once you reach a certain age, and I felt this too, is like the years seem to pass quite quickly.
It's moving.
Shit's right. Like, yeah. I mean, I get, and that makes sense because the longer you've been alive, the less each year is of your life. So it goes faster. But it does gives me a little bit of anxiety too, where you're like, it's already June, like it was just June.
Yeah, I do feel a little like floating a little bit, like even
like directionless,
all this stuff.
Well, what are your goals?
I don't even really know anymore. I'm thinking like dating, relationship wise, like what am I doing out here? Like you have a little bit of that. I yearn for the burbs a little bit.
Really? You're welcome out anytime. Then there's houses.
Which guest house can I stay in?
None. They're under construction. Under construction. So
the barn house or the guest house? Where the butler's
you can
cabin?
Sleep in the shed if you want.
Thank you. I don't know.
Next summer 2025, you'll be out there.
Right. I'm gonna be in that pool. I'm gonna be in the solarium.
What is a solarium?
Don't you have a solarium?
What's a solarium?
What's a solarium? Sometimes I just use words and hope people just go
like a
along. Sunroom?
Is that what that means?
Sunroom? Solar, isn't it? Okay.
Pretentious word for
I like
sunroom.
that.
Okay.
I could be into that.
It's a greenhouse. I'd like to make it into a sunroom, but it's a greenhouse right now.
I don't know. I'm just kind of like indifferent to everything.
Okay.
And I don't know if I should be running or sprinting or just
like everything
chilling.
Feels a little blah.
Everything a little blah. Like someone said, I saw a TikTok the other day that was like, if you feel like time hasn't moved since the pandemic, like you were not alone.
Or TikTok's the new Zoloft commercial.
It is. You're not alone. I don't know. It just feels like
the pandemic does. I do agree with that also. Where like the pandemic feels like it should have been yesterday, but it was actually 4 years ago.
4 years. That's a whole high school. That's a whole thing. But I don't know.
But I mean, to make things a little more optimistic, is there anything you are looking forward to?
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
I'm excited to go to South of France.
Same. I think we're going to do it. I think this time it's on its redemption tour.
Maybe it is.
I think you're going to have a much better time.
Maybe I'm like nervous about it. I'm like,
you do PTSD?
A little bit. Like, I'm like, oh, I got to go and do that again. At least we have a reason to be there. Thank you, Spotify.
There's going to be a lot going on.
Yeah. And I'm kind of in my head, like, I want to, like, feel good
More
while
Americans
there.
This time.
More Americans. Thank you, God. Less radishes. Let's hope.
Maybe. We're going to have to get some while we're there just for old time's sake.
I was looking at a map to see maybe where I would go from Cannes.
Yeah.
And I looked at Lisbon on a map. We mentioned that before we started taping. just because I'd never
Lisbon's
been.
great. It's kind of like San Francisco.
Is it?
It reminded me of San Francisco, and there's like a lot of like hills. It's like a more European, but there's castles. Like it's on the water.
That's San Francisco, Castle Town.
Lisbon's cool. Yeah,
I might go there. I don't know. Maybe I'll just disappear. You'll be like, "Where'd Jared go?"
And you never
just
heard
gone.
from him.
Never heard from him again. Can you imagine?
I could see you there. Why don't you go to Lisbon? You could go to Greece.
I think I'd thrive in Greece.
I think you would too.
I think that's like a place for it, but I kind of want to save it.
That's
but
fair.
that but we wouldn't give that advice. We'd be like, do the thing.
I guess it might be like a better group trip though, or like,
right.
Or like, I think there's like do the thing, but then I think there's also places that are like better to do
with someone
in places that would be really cool alone.
Right. I'm just here.
Want to come with me to London? I'm going to London.
Is that where you're going after?
Yeah, I'm going to London.
Why London?
I'm going to go see the lads. LBG.
Oh, the Lad Bibles.
Yeah.
The Lad Boys.
There. Yeah.
Maybe we should. Maybe I'll come.
Come.
Just
be great.
Put on my Newsies cap.
Yeah, Mike's going to meet me there. He's never been to London.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I like that.
The three of us.
Countryside? We could all go?
Yeah, we go to the countryside. We could go on the double-decker bus tour.
I'm into that.
Go see the king.
See the king. No more queen.
Talk about a midlife crisis. Did you see that portrait of the king?
Hold on. I didn't say I had a midlife crisis. You just talking. We didn't talk about a midlife crisis. You said I didn't say I'm having a midlife crisis. You go talk about a midlife crisis. You just assessed my feeling. Literally, I'm opening up to you on a public platform, and like talk about want to kill myself.
Okay.
If you talk about midlife crisis, maybe it is a midlife crisis.
Passage of time. You were saying I don't know what else to call it. What would you call it?
Is this midlife? Am I that old?
We're all in midlife. Anything about 30 is midlife.
39? I'm going to be 78? What's 39 plus 39?
It's almost 80.
Now I'm having the midlife crisis from this.
No, I'm just saying you said you were like time is going quickly and you feel like
I'm alone. I got nobody. I'm in a studio apartment.
By choice.
I got an apartment that won't sell every time. I did this complaint already. I've done this rant.
So you're
I'm repeating rants.
So you're saying you're a glass half empty guy
right now today?
Today?
Yeah, I ate 3 cheese sticks.
We all had one. You brought one.
I know.
You brought one for all of us to make yourself feel better.
I really did. I had 3 though.
I mean, they're pretty easy.
You guys had 1 after watching me eat 2.
You make it look easy.
I did make it look easy.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to imply
you like to peel them. You're a cheese peeler.
Yeah, I make it an experience.
I take the whole thing and I don't bite it. I just eat it. Just swallow it
down
whole.
Your throat. You put it down your gullet.
I
open it like the hot dog.
I have a gullet. The words you use are hurtful.
A gullet is like your throat. You're like the guy at the
Gullet is not
the hot dog eating contest. You know when
I know the hot dog.
They like put them in water and then they just slide
that's
them
how
down
I eat it. That's how I eat a string cheese.
No, I joke with
gullet
you.
is not.
That's how you know we're
good
close.
word.
I can make fun of you.
Yeah, and I can take it. I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I got a gullet. I'm a jolly man with a gullet.
I get it from you too. We
give it back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm gonna be okay.
You are. I was kidding before. I don't think that.
I'm gonna be the most. How could anyone be unhappy going to Cannes?
We're gonna have an amazing time.
I think
it's gonna
be
so much fun. I can't wait.
I'll be coming off of my New Orleans and Dallas shows. Please, someone get a ticket. It's way less sad than this.
Well, you'll hear the
New Orleans, Dallas, Nashville, East Hampton, or West Hampton. One of those fucking stupid places.
One of the Hamptons.
Cleveland, Sacramento, Atlantic City, Newark. Get your tickets, jaredfree.com.
You must be. I feel like you are a pretty positive guy, though.
Usually, sometimes I, get down.
We all do, right?
Right.
Are you feeling like you're in a down, like
I feel
era?
Like I don't know what I'm in. I'm like, I've been drinking less, which I feel good about. But then you're just like, I sit at home, I'm like,
it's like boring.
What am I doing here?
Yeah.
Like I should just go out and But then it's a bad cycle because like you just go,
it, yeah.
I should go out. And then you go out and you're like, what did I go out last night for? I like waking up early. Like I do like waking up at like 7.
Right. Well,
I've been enjoying that.
Why don't you just go out like less instead of not? I feel like you're very cold turkey.
Right. Well, that's the story of my life. It's like all or nothing. And I hate that.
I'm saying you used to go out like every night of the week. Why don't you go out like on the weekends?
Right. Well, then the weekends I've been putting in for the Cellar. And I don't, here's the other thing. I can't write really. Like I can do, none of the new jokes matter because like my set is, a lot of my mentality has to do with where I am in the joke writing process, as stupid as that sounds.
Okay.
So like when I have new stuff that I can work on, I'm really excited. When it's done and I like need to like do little things, I get like, it's done. I don't know what to do. And right now with the set, I did fix one joke that I'm very proud of.
From your previous, from the one I've
From
seen?
the new one, yeah. And I'm like...
I feel like that one's tight.
It's tight.
Ready to go.
But the thing I fixed, no one would notice as a fix, but I like what it's doing right now. So that's good. I've started talking about on stage going to Europe alone.
Okay.
I started talking about my experience and...
See,
from 2 summers ago.
That's the beauty of being an artist. Anything
That's right.
and we talk about that. We talked about this on Sunday with Olivia.
Olivia O'Brien.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. We talked about this. You know, that's good for your craft. Just having that trip to France where you had a shitty time.
No, you need ups and downs. You need No, these things do. Anytime I'm anxious or annoyed, I know that's a bit. Mm-hmm. You know, like my mom looking at the picture of me, offering me my dad's Ozempic. That's a bit.
There you go.
It has to be.
Yeah. What else are you going to use it for?
Therapy.
I mean, should we just jump
I've had my mental breakdown. I feel better now.
Do you feel?
I do feel a little bit better. I just...
Sometimes you need a little mentee bee before the summer. Get it out of your system.
Right. I did need that. I feel like with the dating relationship stuff, I'm like, I feel like such an idiot. Like, I feel like too old to be having this conversation still.
Which conversation is that?
Not the one that we do on this podcast, because like I could talk about other people's problems for the rest of my life.
All day.
I'll be doing that in my fucking grave.
The best.
But like even the idea of like you do go in and out of things, and then you get out of things, and you go, how am I going to do this different? And you're like, I'm never going to do it different. I'm never going to be. I'm always this idiot. And I'm trying to like drink less because I'm like, maybe if I like feel better about myself in other ways, then I'll be able to like love yourself to love someone else.
Right.
I've kind of thought a lot about that lately.
Like if you were if you felt like happy with the rest of your life, would you be happy with someone?
Right. That I could be like confidently pursue someone, confidently take someone in, confidently, enjoy my time with them because it's not feeling rushed. I think like, when you stay out late at night, not just with drinking, just like shows. Like if I'm out on a Tuesday doing shows at the Cellar until 12:30, you can only wake up so early on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Like you just can't. Like I don't drink before shows, so like if I go out, it's after a show, so that's a different story. Out late. But like if I have like a 12 o'clock spot on a Tuesday, it changes the next day. Like for me, so I'm trying to like do that less to like. Tuesday, go to bed at 11 or be in bed at 11 so that you can fall asleep and wake up at 7. And that element of like, when you're not doing that, when you're not waking up at 7, you feel like, I don't know if people feel this way with alcohol or with jobs or with weird times of stuff. You're like, oh, then I like get mad at myself for being on a date when I could have been doing something else. Like it feels like I'm taking time away.
You're saying because you feel like you're wasting time by drinking after shows.
Well, I feel like I'm wasting time being on a date or like getting to know someone because that's time I would have spent, doing a video on my phone.
Well, that's
as opposed to 7 a.m. Like I'm saying, I'm trying to change the schedule. I'm sorry to be like vamping a little bit, but I'm trying to change my schedule to be more normal. To be able to do the things I like to do during work time hours so that I can have social hours be real social hours, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's kind of that's what I've been zoning in on lately, but it also takes like being at home alone bored.
Well, I could
to do that.
Going back to that where you said you felt like a kind of the date was a waste of time in some senses.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a waste of time if there's no like means to an end. Like if you don't know what you want out of it.
Right. If you're on it just to be on it.
Right.
Yeah.
As opposed to on it in pursuit of sex or relationship, whatever you're looking for.
Right. Yeah, sex isn't on my mind. Like it's on my mind, but it's not like something I'm like I think like I've
slept with everyone already.
I've seen them all.
Already had this whole city.
Titties.
Yeah.
I've had them all. I've tasted them all.
Well,
delicious.
Now you're ready for something different?
Well, I guess I'm ready for like a thoughtful sexual journey with someone that means more. Not to say that I didn't have that
describing
before.
A relationship without calling it a relationship?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Thoughtful sexual.
I guess that's what I would call a relationship.
That I sleep with.
That's going to be my wedding speech.
Yeah.
Thank you for being the thoughtful sexual relationship I always was looking for.
All you are to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Not to say that I was ever this horn dog. I don't think. I hope I've never given off that vibe. I talk dirty here.
Well,
I talk.
You've been single
flippantly.
You've been single for a bit, so I guess my question on that is like, and maybe for you to answer for all men is,
if I have to,
if you can, is there a point for men when you're like, okay, I can sleep with anyone randomly anytime I want, and that's no longer appealing to me?
I think, and no, you can't sleep with anyone you want anytime you want. Okay, that's not what I'm saying.
Hypothetically.
But I would say
you're free to.
I would say
morally.
Well, I would say the disease of man is, and the problem, that the issue that men have, speaking personally, is this. When this comes back to, I open to short, looking for long.
Okay.
I think that speaks
Are you open
to
to short?
That's the problem. Open to short, looking for long. Term relationship is what I mean. Like that speaks to me. Whenever I hear someone talk about open to short, looking for long, and that isn't even, that's how I would say it. I'm open to short term, but I'm looking for long term.
Okay.
The open to short term is distracting and a time killer. But it's a time killer that men don't really think of as fatal.
Because they have a lot more time.
Right. So because it's not fatal, it can be distracting forever.
Right. Well, that's the flip side of being a man, I guess, where it's negative.
That's where it's that's the fear in me.
If that's what you want.
Well, the idea that like if you're open to long and this thing distracts you to short, like why do men cheat? Why does Arnold Schwarzenegger have sex with the cleaning woman when he's got this big mansion in the house and the wife for 1,000 years? He was distracted by the short. I don't think, unless they fell in love. I don't know. But sure. I don't think they did. It didn't sound like they did.
Right.
So how does that happen? It's like the disease, money, penis, and power, bad cocktail. So there's a little bit of the dating stuff where it's like, you're open along, and then you go out on a Thursday and you're like, there's a lot of short opportunities. Right. And it feels dirty to say and disgusting.
And if again,
but it's distracting. I think it's like even someone who's open along gets distracted by the short. I think that's like a male.
Well, let's say someone said to you, if you don't have kids by 40, it's going to be really tough for you to have kids. Would that help the short distractions?
I guess it would. Yeah. I think that's the difference right there, right? Yeah. It would make me rethink. I guess I would have rethought it years ago.
Well, yeah, that's right. I think that's sort of I guess the crux of the conversation.
But I also then would have had to weigh. I guess I would have weighed my career and kids, as some women do,
as most women do.
Right. Well, that's I have to believe that not getting married is why I'm here today. There's a piece of me that I kind of have to live in that. I was thinking that was kind of making me sad.
Okay.
I was like, I have to believe that all these decisions I made in my personal life were to make this professional life where it's at.
Well, my question to that is like, do you not feel like you could be successful with a wife that's supportive of your career?
I do feel like I could, but I have to believe that I let go of things that were worth investing in.
Okay.
Because I couldn't do it. Myself.
Do both.
Right.
Well, like, yeah, I mean, that's personal to you.
Right.
Yeah, but you're not going out here and saying that anyone,
I guess you're not
going to be.
But I do have this moment. I've had these moments of like, was it all worth it? Are you getting on the road that you wanted to be on while also like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, did I, there's a part of me that says, did I give up, girlfriends to be able to like have the social life I wanted that was easier than a relationship.
Okay.
Along with my job. So like with a girlfriend, could I have, I guess like there's three things. There's relationship, there's social, and there's career. And I had this kind of thought of like, would my social, like, did I give up a girlfriend to not give up social?
Right.
To keep career too.
What I have social given? Are you talking about?
I guess I'm talking about like socially? Going out and drinking at a certain hour, going out, hanging out with friends. I don't know, like doing whatever I wanted to do.
Right. To me, having a girlfriend is more of a blocker to that than it is to the career.
Right.
Because when you're in a relationship, you're probably not just going out all the time by yourself.
Well, this was, I guess, being selfish. I guess like the social
doing whatever you want to do.
Doing whatever you want to do is something you can't do with a girlfriend.
Right. But it's something you can do for the rest of your life if you want to.
Right. But I'm saying like, I guess that on the Venn diagram, there's girlfriend, there's relationship, there's career.
Okay.
In the middle is doing whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Now, at the point where you're deciding whether you want to do whatever you want to do, I got to do career stuff, but I also have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I can't do because of my girlfriend.
And then you can't do the social, you're saying.
Right. That's included. I guess that's my doing whatever you want to do. I don't know if that makes sense anymore.
I'm not exactly sure.
I guess like the, relationship stuff is hard and takes work and takes effort and you have someone else in mind. When you go, will I go to, San Francisco a day early? I don't have to ask anyone to do that. Now that's career, but that's also doing whatever I want to do. Right. That's, I'll get drunk in the sky, have dinner, and nobody's going to ask me, when are we going to have a kid?
Right.
Like,
I mean, if that's not what you want.
Right. But I wouldn't have to tell someone that. I guess I'm thinking of a lot of like regret lately. I'm thinking like, do I regret? Was it that I was just looking to be lazy and that's why I gave up on relationships?
I don't think it's about lazy. I think that you highly value doing whatever you want to do.
Right.
And you don't like disappointing people. So that's a good thing, I think.
Right.
If you're someone who highly values doing your own thing and you don't like, which is also a good thing, making people upset.
Right.
Then I think that this is
so you often choose to just leave the people you might be making upset.
Yeah. Which I think is not like a bad thing. It's better than you like selfishly just asking them to like meet you wherever you're at and not willing to compromise.
Right. I guess people do that.
Yeah. Some people do. Some people in relationships, one person calls all the shots and the other person just moves around them. And they don't mind that. I don't think that's bad.
Listen, that's not for everyone likes certain roles.
I think you could find that too. I think you could find someone who's like, do your thing.
Well, I don't know. I guess I and I think of like what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone to tell, like, it is funny that like when I date someone and they are like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, what do you want to do? And then like we both have nothing to say. Right. I'm like more turned off.
But it's funny because it does seem to go against what you were just saying.
Right.
That you want to do whatever you want to do. So then someone shows up and they're like, well, let's do whatever you want to do.
Right.
And you're like, whoa, like lame.
Right.
Like what? Maybe it's about figuring out what you actually want.
All right, let's get into the show.
Okay. I'll do the first email.
What are we talking about today?
All right. Hi, Jordana and Jared. All the feathers. I'll get right to it. I had an over 2-year situationship end last summer. Thank God. A few months into our dating, I loaned him more than $1,000 to help with an overdue bill. He didn't ask for it, but I knew he needed the money and I offered.
Would you ever do that?
No. I mean, if to
take
someone,
it, $1,000, you need it.
To someone that wasn't my boyfriend?
Right.
No. If it was my boyfriend,
different story.
Different story. A situationship.
You know where to find him.
Yeah. Or like, it's okay. I think I would offer, again, if it was the right level of a situationship, no.
Okay.
Okay. A few months into our dating, I loaned him more than $1,000 to help with an overdue bill. He didn't ask for it, but I knew he needed the money and I offered. He said he would pay me back, but it might take a while. I accepted it, but I didn't know it would take this long. As we were having our last breakup conversation, he said to let him know how much I owe him. I tried texting him a couple weeks later, only to find out my number had been blocked. So I emailed him. He said, okay, and thanked me again for loaning it. Now it's been almost a year and still nothing. We haven't been in contact since, and I want to keep it that way. But I also want my money. I also still want my money. Should I just?
I want my fucking money.
I'm cool, but I also fucking want my money.
Right.
Yes.
I want my money, and I want it now. Remember that?
Yeah. What was it? J.G. Wentworth.
Was that what it was?
No. Yes. Structured settlement. Yes.
Right. I want my money. I want it now. What is that song?
I have a structured settlement, but I need cash now.
Call J.G. Wentworth. 877 Marsh now.
Such a great song.
I can't believe these songs have such a hold on us.
Like,
amazing. Geniuses. Yeah. Geniuses. Call 877 Marsh now. Gosh, no. To put like that type of song,
They're genius.
I want my money. That guy was sounding like such a piece of shit. So
I want it now.
Now.
It was kind of like the Nickelodeon magazine. Remember those commercials?
Yes, I do remember.
Nickelodeon. It was kind of the same vibe. Nickelodeon magazine now.
Right.
Or I want it.
I want it now. No, that was like,
please.
I can see the commercial like in my mind's eye, those Nickelodeon magazines.
Yeah.
Wow. There's a whole generation.
Yeah. If you know
the pleasure
of Nickelodeon magazine.
Of Nickelodeon magazine.
Does anyone actually have it?
No. I don't think anyone really.
I've never seen a Nickelodeon magazine.
No. I got like ESPN magazine. What magazines did you get?
Like 17.
17. So you were in that?
When I was like a preteen. Yeah, I thought it was cool because I was reading 17.
Right. Yeah, magazines were like only a thing for like when I went to camp. All of a sudden I wanted a magazine.
Yeah, I could see that.
But like before, like the idea of getting my monthly, like
GQ?
running. Well, there was Maxim had a moment, and that was like
Men's Health.
Men's Health had a moment.
Shape, I'd read occasionally. Anyway, now it's been almost a year and still nothing. We haven't been in contact since, and I want to keep it that way, but I also want my money. Should I just cut my losses and forget about it? Should I send a follow-up email saying, hey, don't think I forgot about this? Lock your door.
Be vague. Don't think I forgot about this.
Either way, I'm never loaning money to a significant other again.
I'll tell everyone the real size of your penis. I'll tell everyone.
Get the mafia involved.
I'll tell everyone you have hairy balls and they stink like shit. If you don't send me my money, you better send me my $1,000.
Seriously. Thanks for all.
Send it now. I want my money. I want it now.
And I want it now. Thanks for all that you do. XOXO, a bitch who wants what's due.
This is simple to me. You don't think?
I know what you're going to say. You're going to say she should just call it a wash.
No, get your money.
Oh, you think she should get?
Yeah, but I think the big mistake she's erring towards is the emotional aspect. It's clean. It's simple. There's no emotion. No hello.
Right.
Hey, I am still waiting on my money. When can I expect it? This isn't hope all has been well. Right. This isn't, it's a bill.
Until he answers.
Send him a bill. Hey.
Get collections on him.
Hey, just want to make sure you had this. Yeah, collect. I just think like
consistency is key.
Right. And I think the problem she has is she needs to rewrite the contract. We talk about this all the time. Relationships are contract negotiations. Here's the contract. She literally wrote the contract she agreed to. A few months into our dating, I loaned him more than $1,000 to help with an overdue bill. He didn't ask for it, but I knew he needed the money and I offered. He said he would pay me back, but it might take a while. There's the contract.
Right.
Thank you for $1,000, and I'll have it back to you in a while.
Get a date, or don't lend it.
Well, she can write, I want a date. Hey, I'm looking to talk to you about the money.
Not that kind of
date. Not drinks.
Right.
I want my money.
I mean, would you lend someone
$1,000? Are they still blowing me?
A few months into dating?
I can't say I wouldn't.
Here's the thing.
I'm a trusting guy. I understand where she's coming from. And I don't think I would like seek them out to give them $1,000. But if
they were
someone
complaining
was like,
about,
hey, it's $1,000 bill. But I would say, I guess
$100 bills.
He's got $1,000. I guess I would be more. I guess I don't know. I don't know how I would be. I don't want to like judge by saying I'm better than this person because I don't think I would be. Sure. I think I'd be the same.
Right.
I'll get it back to you in a while. I'm a trusting guy. I would go whenever it comes back to me. I think you would lend it too. Yeah. I would lend it.
Here's my rule of thumb: if you're gonna lend a friend, or family, or someone you're dating money, just don't expect to get it back.
Yeah.
You have to give it as if it's a gift. If you get paid back, great. But I think that's sort of like the universal rule. Like if you're going to lend out money to someone, you're not a bank. You don't have any protections in place. You just have to give it with the assumption you'll never see it again. And if you see it again, great. I don't think that means she shouldn't try.
Unless you make the assumptions in the original contract. You can't, when someone says a while,
that's great.
That money is gone.
Yeah.
If you said to them, what is a while? And they go 2 months, and you go, okay, so I'm going to put my calendar in 2 months because I do need the money back.
Well, that doesn't make you feel as good about giving it.
Right. And it doesn't.
You want to be the hero.
That other person might not take your money.
Which is good.
Which is good. Yeah, but I
think this guy has balls, though. I think if you break up with someone, it sounds like you broke up with her.
I would have paid it on the way out.
That's crazy. That's rude.
It is rude. Would you ever loan someone money?
Like family members, but then they paid me back. Like,
did they?
Yeah, they gave me a time that they were gonna.
So I mean, that is you say that like I've never loaned anyone money.
But then if I would
fuck yourself.
But
get your own money.
But I would lend money to a family member.
Yeah.
And assume and know if they couldn't pay me back, I would never lend what I wouldn't be able to live without.
Of course, yeah. I hear you. It sounds like this woman, she wants her money back, but I don't know. It doesn't sound like they're writing from their phone that they have hooked up to the street light.
Oh yeah, one of those like kiosks. Whatever those things are.
She's gone homeless from it. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, everything. This is a good lesson for her. She said she's never lending money. She said significant other. She calls it a situationship. So I think lending money to your boyfriend is also different than lending money to a guy you're hooking up with who won't be in a committed relationship with you.
Totally agree. And I also would say to her,
would you ever take money from someone you were dating?
No.
If you really needed it.
If I guess I can't say that I wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah. Here's what she needs to write in her email. Hey, I'm still waiting on the money you owe me. If you can send it, I'm at this address. Like assume close. I'm at this address.
Don't even say if you can send it. You can send it to this.
You can send it. Right. You're right. Send it to this address. If you can't, please send me back a date I can expect the money. And get them to say some words.
Yeah. And if he doesn't answer, you email the same thing week after week.
Once a month.
Sure. Month after month.
Okay. UUP@betches.com. We got another Friends to Lovers.
That's Collections by Jordana and Jared.
That's right. J&J Collection Agency. Yes. Coming at you.
We'd be pretty bad.
We want our money!
We want it now. We just keep playing that Nickelodeon magazine commercial over and over again until the person can't take it anymore.
Out their door with a boombox.
Yes.
Let's do a Friends to Lovers.
Let's do it.
Our last Friends to Lovers. J&J, I heard there was an ask for Friends to Lovers. Not as much of an ask. We're done asking.
It's over.
Setting the scene. September 2010. Freshman in college. Oh, I'm old.
Wow.
Another mental breakdown is coming.
Same.
I met my best friend, Andrew, in our freshman dorm. We were instant besties, did everything together, and were inseparable. It even got to the point where our professors would ask us if the other one wasn't in class because we were attached at the hip. He always skipped class. Finally, sophomore year, we decided to test the waters and hook up. We fell in love so fast because it was so natural. We already spent so much time together. Fast forward 5 years together, graduating college, starting new jobs together, moving into our first apartment together, et cetera, et cetera. I thought I was going to marry this man. Lots of ups and downs. We'll elaborate on this if necessary. No, we're good. For the sake of time, One night I was feeling so weird about a relationship and thought, I'm going to look at his phone. Never do this. I repeat, I do not. I just end it. Well, I found his Grindr. A message from a dude that said, I had a great time tonight. Cue me having a full mental breakdown. Don't worry, this has a PG happy ending. We ended up breaking up for obvious reasons. He got a boyfriend and we ended up spending a decent amount of time apart, and we slowly started to become friends again. After a long time apart, my roommate and I needed a third to move in, so Andrew moved in. We lived there for like 3-ish years, and fast forward to now, I just bought a house and he's my forever roomie.
Forever roomie.
And very best friend. So they got the house together?
I think she bought the house and he's living there.
Oh, I could not imagine my life without him. My dad calls him son. My brother thinks of him as a brother too. He's in the family group chat and everything. He's still very gay, as opposed to just regular gay. Is that? And I'm still very straight, as opposed to, okay. I wouldn't have it any other way. Too long didn't read. People come into your life for a reason or a season. It's definitely possible to keep someone forever, assuming feelings are talked about and respected. I get a lot of, well,
I don't know about this like lesson.
Yeah. He cheated on you.
Yeah. Cheated on you. Yeah. That's the part she seems to be like. That's like a
water betrayal. Under the bridge.
Right.
No, you slept in the bed with someone who went on a date with another guy.
Yes, while he was your boyfriend.
She really didn't write in for this. For us
while he was your boyfriend. I mean, that's cheating.
I get a lot of comments on this all the time, but I am truly so happy with how it turned out. I had a negative read of this. Did you?
I felt like she was a little annoying.
Totally. Well, I got like mad for the male species.
Why?
They met in college. They grew up. They grew apart. They found out who they were.
I mean, he was cheating on her.
Well, that's my point. Mm-hmm. Is like, if this happened without him being gay, would you look as kindly back on this? As
I don't feel like they'd be living together.
Well, no, but I'm saying, like, if it's the idea that, like, there's a lot of people, I don't want to generalize, but I have heard of situations where someone references, I mean, Olivia O'Brien is talking about her high school dynamic with people making fun of her and, and how everyone got, and again, she's allowed to have that story. But people talk about like this, like, and my college boyfriend was a piece of shit. And it's like, how about this guy grew up? Like, he didn't know he was gay. He didn't know how to talk about those feelings.
Well, it kind of sounds like that's where she landed with it.
With this, but if he was straight, is my point. There's a lot of straight guys that were the college boyfriend that I thought I was going to marry him. Mm. And then I found Hinge on his phone and
yeah, I mean,
he should go to hell. Not we both grew up and figured out our taste and figured out. I think the college boyfriend sometimes doesn't get his due in the way this guy's getting his due. This guy, we lived and learned and we have grown up.
I think I would say that about my college boyfriend.
Okay, good. Like, I appreciate it.
I mean, I also do this podcast, so that maybe I'm not like your average person, but I do think, that like with enough, it's kind of like, are you over something? If you're over something, that's how you describe it, right? Mm-hmm. If you're not over something, then you're like villainizing someone or blaming them. I think if you were,
I mean, we've had my college ex on this podcast, so I think mine has learned feels the same way. We lived and learned and grew up together, and that's nice.
Who broke up with who in that scenario?
I think her, but
okay,
that doesn't.
She's over it.
I think she's okay. She's got a couple kids and a husband. No, but I just. This is a nice perspective. It was weird to me that I was thinking of him not being gay.
You don't think he would get the benefit of the doubt if he were straight? You're saying
it's like marry me or be gay. Anything else, you're an evil fuck who ruined my life.
I mean, in order for them to be best friends who live together now, I think this scenario has to come.
Right, I'm not expecting someone to live with their ex from.
I do think if this was a straight guy and she found Tinder on his phone and he was messaging people on there. I don't know how long. It's 2010, so it's been 14 years, right? I do think she also might look back and say he was, kind of a fuckboy back then. Maybe you would take it more
piece of shit.
I mean, it's obviously if someone cheats on you with, I think someone of the opposite of the same sex, it feels less personal.
Of course,
I think so. I think that's another part of the equation, rather than like straight men are evil.
Agreed. No, I'm not. This isn't my plight for the alpha
I would
bros.
be like, dealing with your sexuality and figuring out that you're gay deals less about me. Like, I don't think you would have stayed with a different girl.
Well, I would say to anyone out there who had a college sweetheart, and if they're still out there thinking about it, I think you need to like also include in how you think about it, and male, female, it doesn't matter what you identify as someone else is growing up with you holding their hand. You guys are growing up together.
And you were there for all their mistakes.
Right. Yeah. And you're figuring out your sexuality doesn't have to be figuring out that you're gay. It could be figuring out that you have a different type or into a different type of personality. Or
I mean, that's different than cheating.
Totally. Right. Take away the cheating. I'm saying if you're looking at like, I thought I was going to marry that guy, or I thought I was going to marry that woman, then college ended and all of a sudden she's going out with her friends more and we're not together.
Totally. I think most of the time when people hurt you, it's because they themselves are hurt.
Right.
Hurt people, right? Mm-hmm. So like, and I think, and again, that's to say, I think you're right about looking back at your college or earlier relationships. Like, in most cases, most people are not evil. They're figuring themselves out. They made some mistakes. And maybe you were collateral damage of that, just as someone else was probably collateral damage for your mistakes in the same way.
Right. No, you're right. You said it way better than I ever could. Yeah, this is a call for empathy.
Right.
For your exes. Not the one that dated you till you were 40. I'm just talking about that, like, that 23-year-old girlfriend
Anyone
or
who
boyfriend.
you dated before you were 25.
Right. Let's look at them the same way as someone figuring out their sexuality.
Sure.
Give them that benefit of the doubt.
That being said, I mean, would you apologize to anyone that you dated before the age of 25 if you could?
Let's just consider this a blanket apology to everyone I've ever dated.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would apologize to people, I think.
I would apologize. There's people I would apologize. Absolutely. I think some of the stories I tell here are open admissions to fault.
Yeah.
You know?
Just like we said at the beginning of last Wednesday's episode, we are shitty people.
Horrible, horrible human beings.
Take our advice, please.
Okay. Let's do another email. Hi, J&J. Boy, do I have a doozy for you. Love a dooze.
Hey, J&J, my boyfriend, 32, or perhaps ex-boyfriend, and I, 31, met in 2022 on Tinder. Extra,
extra, maybe a breakup. Ooh. What if that was my thing? That I did that after everything. Extra, extra. Gonna do red flag or deal breaker. Would I be the most annoying person alive?
As a voice actor, I think you are allowed to do that.
You can all watch Love Undercover on Peacock. I am the voice.
I've seen it. I need to get into it.
It's worth a watch. It's a very good show. It's fun. It's these guys I like. So it's professional soccer players that come to America and the women don't know that it's a little Joe Millionaire.
Okay.
So it's like they all think that they're construction workers from abroad, and they're going to meet a guy with an English accent, and they end up being like $100 million soccer players.
Love it.
It's a really fun show.
Unrefined soccer players.
And I'm the voiceover.
Wow.
I'm the guy making fun of it along the way.
Huge. I mean, I've heard some buzz about the show, so it might be a multi-season gig for you.
Let's pray. I want my money, and I want it now.
Okay. So they fell in love on Tinder. We fell in love instantly and deeply. We spent all our time together. He was incredibly sweet and always did these over-the-top romantic gestures, like bringing me daily Starbucks, booking trips that he paid for. He told me he loved me.
A little bit different, those two.
Just a tad.
I got you a macchiato.
Which is higher lift. I don't know. It depends who you ask. He told me he loved me within 2 months, and I responded with it too. We were both never big on the word and don't use it, even with our parents / close friends. Yikes. I know.
It's okay.
Whatever.
I'm not as big in the I love you game.
I don't think you need to say it all the time anyway. Unfortunately, 3 months in.
I only say I love you to my pizza.
And your phone.
And my phone.
Hello.
I love you.
You are not getting any later tonight.
Please let me.
Unfortunately, 3 months in, my dog started hating my boyfriend. He would shake and hide from him. Then we decided to move across the country to Boston. We talked about marriage, kids, all of it. And I felt so happy to meet the one. Then the dog part got worse as he bit my boyfriend twice within a few months. My dog is a tiny 7-pounder, but he can still get you good. Then he started to pee whenever my boyfriend got too close to him or picked him up. We hired a trainer, but it didn't help much. A year later, after we moved out here, we argue all the time, often after something with the dog. I tell him if it gets any worse, I'll have the dog go live with my parents. I have booked the flight and everything. But about once a month, my boyfriend shuts down and withdraws from me completely for at least 3 days. That sounds fun.
Once a month, this guy
crazy,
gets, withdraws
3 days?
3 days. What is he doing?
Yeah. He tells me that's 10% of the time. Okay. He tells me he hates the dog and he threw his phone near him. He says he wanted to throw it at the dog's face, but knows he can't. I know
you really?
Weird. Okay.
That's weird.
I know he went through a lot of trauma growing up, but I can't imagine trying to hurt someone or something else, no matter how mad I am. I always thought of him as a soulmate. What do I do now? I'm crushed. Would our relationship be better if I had never gotten a dog? Will I ever find love again? Sincerely, a sad little bitch.
This is scary to me.
This guy?
Yeah. I don't like this email at all. Trigger warning for anyone. This feels like he's abusing the dog. I
think so?
The dog pees anytime he shows up.
I did think that part was weird. Like, why is that? I don't have a dog, so I don't know if it's like, Candace, you can weigh in on this. You have a dog. Is it a thing where, like, if you're doing something weird to the dog will act weird in front of you? He does seem a little traumatized.
Yeah, that could be a sign that your dog is scared. Like, there are times that a dog could pee out of excitement, but the way that this dog is acting, I don't think that's an excited. Like, my dog used to pee when my dad used to say hi to her, and then she'd, like, jump all over him. But that's when she was, like, 4 months old and too small to control her bladder. But once
She probably didn't bite him, though.
No, she never bit. But, like, also, like, this dog she's had for a while. Like, once the dog's an adult, if your dog is peeing when a certain person walks in the room and shaking and hiding, that also seemed very weird.
I mean, the amount of detail in this email, like...
But she didn't question the guy at all. She was just like, should I have never gotten the dog?
Right. Then blaming on the dog is, like, so wild to me because...
I mean, I could see not liking a dog that bites you.
Of course, but I can't see... The biting came after... I'm going based on the email they sent. And the biting comes after the dog and him are having this strained relationship.
Right. Do you think he's doing something weird when she's not around?
And then he's like, I would throw it at the dog, but I know I can't. Like, when you say that to someone, you're basically kind of implying that you can't do it because they're around. Like,
right.
I don't know. It's such a weird thing to say.
If it was socially acceptable, I would.
Right. Why would you even say that out loud? Like, that's such a weird. I don't know. I don't like. And listen, I'm saying this is not someone with a dog, but like, and two things can be true at once. I don't really take a lot of like I think someone sounds very stupid. I'm sorry to use such a strong term, but like when they're like, my dog doesn't like you, I don't know if I could date you. I'm like, why would the dog not like me? Like, you know, like I kind of think that's like a hacky thing. Like
some people are like, my dog doesn't like anyone.
Right. All that stuff I don't believe.
Okay.
This,
I mean, the shaking is weird.
Is very different than that, is my point. Like, my dog doesn't really get along with most people. My dog is, if he doesn't like you, if you can sleep on the couch, the dog gets the bed. Like, all that dog shit,
right?
Like, I think is like conversational bullshit.
So you think
this to me sounds very serious? Like, the fact that he's getting withdrawn for 3 days, he's obviously very up and down emotionally.
Crazy, yeah.
Like, the dog peeing.
You think he's a scary dude?
This scares me just reading it. Like, I think it should be taken very seriously. And then the idea, as Candace said, the idea that like, oh, maybe we'd be different if the dog didn't exist. You're letting him off the hook for having this.
Right. Also, like, what other
abusive-ish.
The dog could be anything else that's not going well.
Right.
Also, I don't think getting rid of the dog is going to change his personality, which is like when he is upset, he withdraws completely from me for at least 3 days.
Right.
That's how he handles conflict.
Right. Candace?
Just one other thing with the way that dogs act. There are some reactive dogs where a dog, like if somebody's like, oh, my dog doesn't like people that do this, or like my dog isn't good around people, and those are dogs that, you know, like might bite or get very anxious or something, but the way that her dog wasn't initially like this with him and then suddenly changed over time.
Right.
Like that.
It's the PEMDAS of it all, the order of operations. Like if she had said what you're saying, like, oh, this dog is really bad with people, and then now he's peeing. That's not the order of this email. The email...
It's also not, she didn't say that he's started doing that towards other people either. And then, like, moving your dog across the country with you and this other person, that's very stressful for a dog. And if they're
and for him, obviously.
Yeah, and if they're home alone together when she's not there or anything, yeah, there are weird red flags all over this.
This had scary... I don't know. I read this and I was like... I was like, maybe you're sending this to the wrong place.
I think she needs to move on from this relationship.
I would say that. I would say seeing a counselor together. Mm-hmm. I would say...
Together with the boyfriend?
With the boyfriend. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes people write in and you want to just go like, sound the alarm. You have to do something. Tell friends and family. Like you need to tell other people. Right. I hope we're not the only ones you're telling this story.
Yeah,
to,
I also
because it's easy to tell us we're faceless. You're faceless to us, but you have friends and family who might look you in the eye and go, "Wait, the dog pees when he shows up and never did before. What's going on?" Right.
It also seems like she's sort of clinging on to these early positive things that the boyfriend did, of the Starbucks and the I love you and the booking trips thing, like, which I think can cloud your view of how our relationship is now.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like when you're referencing those things from the beginning, you're kind of like, well, why would I let this one go? He did all these great things back then.
Right. Then it's like, it becomes like a sunk cost fallacy.
Right.
Where you're like, I just got to get back to even. Let me get him back to Starbucks macchiato gift.
Yeah.
And he's never going to be that. This is who he is in a relationship
and again,
with you.
The dog could be replaced with anything else. Like this is how he handles conflict. He leaves for 3 days. He is getting aggressive.
Well, if you're getting aggressive with the dog, like, the dog could be saving your life, honestly. Like, I'm not saying I don't want a dog abused, which to me, I don't want to make accusations, but like, this sounds like a dog who's traumatized by something, whether it's physical, mental, whatever.
Right. I think I covered that.
Candace just told us that the email title was bad breakup incoming ? So like they're deciding on a breakup. Like to me, there's not
that much here that's good now.
Right.
Again, she's referencing the early days, but that everyone in the beginning is on their best behavior in a relationship.
Yeah.
So I think this is who this person really is.
It is so easy to buy you a trip. like I know that she's making that we have to go by what she brought up in her email. He paid for a whole
Starbucks mobile order.
That is easy. Paying for things is easy. Withdrawing for 3 days
when things are tough.
That's like really difficult to do when someone cares about you.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it's important to fight.
And you're doing it instead of talking it out with them.
That's why it's important to fight with someone before you marry them. So you get a sense of how they fight.
Right. Just to know what's going on.
Yeah. All right, let's play some games.
Red flag or deal breaker. We love a red flag deal breaker. These are some great ones. J&J, I'm such a fan of the podcast. It gets me through the long drives home on Mondays and Wednesdays. I look forward to it every week. What I'm about to tell you I've never told anyone before. Okay. I want my money and I want it
now.
No. About 3 years ago, right after my divorce, I met this guy on Tinder, had crazy hot chemistry. The sex was unreal. We hooked up a few times, but he moved out of the state and we never talked again. Fast forward a year later, I'm on Hinge. See this guy that looks exactly like the guy I've hooked up with, but his name is different and has a picture with his 2-year-old son on his profile. I sent him a message out of curiosity and found out that he was actually the twin brother of the guy I hooked up with, LOL. I was honest with him and told him I hooked up with his brother years ago and we laughed about it and decided to meet as friends. Okay. We were both single parents. Very weird, but we had so much chemistry.
Not weird to me.
Not at all.
Chemistry with the identical twin brother.
Right. Guy you found hot in you have chemistry? Yeah. Yes. We were both holding back because of the situation, but one day we just kissed out of nowhere during a conversation. We started going on secret dates and hooking up occasionally, but I had to end it. I liked him so much and had a great connection, but I couldn't stop thinking about how awkward it would be if I met his brother again. He wanted me to be his girlfriend despite all of that, which for me was a deal breaker. Did I make the right choice? He said I was making too much of a big deal out of it. I still think about him sometimes and how life would have been if we ended up dating. Signed, Twin Dream Betch.
So, they're your ex's twin. I wouldn't call that other guy her ex.
Right.
Right? There's like
I think it's more in his boat to be weird than hers.
Yeah. If he was fine with it.
Maybe there's no twin.
Maybe it's him again.
Right. Maybe he was cheating on his then wife. They got
think?
divorced, and now it's him with his kid, and he's under his real name now. That is really conspiratorial.
Yeah, you're the one who's always like, that the monster doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist, right. But I don't know. This is
I guess it's possible. If you have a different name.
In the beginning, when he was cheating, he was under Tom.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're dating Dirty John, I think this is probably
right.
I'm surprised he doesn't care.
I am surprised at him not care.
But if he doesn't care, I don't know. Maybe again, if it wasn't like an intimate relationship, it was just sex.
What would you need from him to make this feel right? What would you need from the twin, the one you like, to be able to date and move forward?
I'd need to like know what the discussion was like with the brother.
Right.
I think
you need a discussion with the brother.
Yeah.
If I was this woman who doesn't seem to care, I would say to him, or who does care.
Yeah.
If I were her, I would try and figure out, like, I don't think this is worth leaving, considering her email.
You think she should stay?
If a guy has got a kid and you have a great connection and
how often does that come along?
Right.
So if you've had sex with someone's sister, would you date her? Be in a relationship?
I would feel weird about it, but I would need them. I would feel weird like she does.
Right. 3 years ago.
But I would need, if the person was pursuing me, and I really did feel the connection that they felt, but the only reason I was like backing away is because this is too weird with the sister.
Right.
I would need them to go to the sister and like talk it out and then really tell me what happened with that sister. I need to know the discussion.
Yeah. I would.
How okay is your sister with this? I can't live a life uncomfortably.
Yeah. The only weird thing is like, it sounds like she said they hooked up a few times and he moved out of state and that's why they didn't like talk again.
Right.
So part of me, I guess, would always think like, is there a weirdness here? Like it wasn't like we ended because like we just weren't a match. That would almost be better. I think if you ended because you just like were like, this isn't really
right.
Because I mean, it would be weird. It's just twin brother. You'd always think about. Now that I'm playing it out, I think I might feel weird about it.
The more I think about it, the more it is weird. But the fact that the brother's so okay with it, I would need the brother to like do some work.
Maybe they're not close.
I mean,
they never see each other. I mean, they're identical twins.
Identical twins not being close. When does that ever happen?
Yeah, I think I would feel, now that I'm talking it out, I think I would feel kind of weird about it, especially if they were close, which you would imagine they would be close. But I would need to.
I would need the brother to text me, "Hey, I just heard about what happened. You have my blessing. I would never make it weird. I think he's great, and I think you're great.
He's a good-looking guy.
Good looking, right?
Right.
Then my nephew loves you. I think you're great. I don't have a sexual bone in my body for you. And I don't feel.
I think you're repulsive.
You're disgusting. Yeah. You're. I don't know. It is harder than at first glance.
I think it might be weird at. It might be. I don't know. I think it could work.
If the only reason she isn't is out of respect for the other brother,
that's the brother's decision to make.
I
could see not wanting to date someone that your brother had sex with. I think that's
absolutely
fair.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
I've been turned away from dating someone who my brother matched with on a dating app.
They didn't even go out?
Never went out. They're like, we matched. And I was like,
have you ever hooked up with two sisters?
Two sisters?
Not like together.
Twins? That was always a big commercial thing.
Oh, yeah. It was like
and twins!
They had that on The Bachelor when they had the twins competing as one. That was crazy.
That was crazy. They had sisters this past season.
Oh, interesting.
Well, the Budweiser commercial. And twins! Were the twins going to make out? Well, what was that?
Would you hook up with the twin? With sisters? 3 years apart?
I would, but they
didn't care?
I'm with this woman as far as the discomfort. Like I've been more I understand where she's coming from.
Right.
But I don't know.
So you haven't done this.
If it was love, I haven't done this.
Okay.
But if it was, I don't know. I think I would be like, I would let it play out more than she's letting it play out.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be. I think my like grandmother's mother, like my great grandmother, her mother died, and then her aunt married her father. I think that was like a thing back then.
That happened. Yeah, that happened. That was. Yeah,
Right.
You're right.
I mean, granted, she's dead, but still, like, I think
Right, but there
that was
like,
a thing where like the sister would marry the husband.
Well, that was when the world was smaller. Like you only
Right.
knew the people in your half a town.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and there weren't that many prospects for the sister. Well, like I think it's weird. We've already slept together. Like,
Well, also,
Yeah.
the idea of sleeping together wasn't like spoken about in that way. The
Right.
best sex of my
yeah,
life.
it wasn't
Grandma.
spoken about. There was
You know
sex
what
was
I
not
mean?
spoken about at all.
Right.
But I do think it is interesting. Like if you look at that, like
Right.
my grandmother being raised by her aunt, who's married to her father because her mother's dead, is kind of what we're describing here.
It happens. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Let's do
Anyway.
another. Sorry, I'm
Weird, but not out of the question is
Right.
what I would call it. Okay.
Agreed.
Hi, You Up crew. Longtime listener and first time writing in. I've been on 2 dates with a guy. When we exchanged Instagram handles and I saw a shirtless pic of him. On his chest, he has 2 tattoos of his 2 kids' faces as babies. Pretty much one on each man boob. He is fit and I love tattoos, but the placement and subject is really weirding me out. I can't imagine staring at someone else's kids while in a sexual moment. What are your thoughts? Is this a red flag or a deal breaker? I would love to hear you discuss.
It is funny that she's like, he's fit, but she called it a man boob.
Peck is
peck.
A peck is
That would've helped, yeah.
It's a more flattering term.
And I do understand, like, I don't want to look at a baby's face while I'm fucking.
Yeah. What if she's got one of her kids
On each of the tits?
on each of the breasts?
It's going to be a no from me, dog.
No,
I think I'm out.
I think I'm out too. I'm not really I'm not that big into tattoos generally, and I think this.
You ever
one
thought
would
of getting
be-
a tattoo yourself? You ever thought about it? Ever crossed your mind?
like in a very fleeting way, but nothing. I would never. I don't think I would ever actually do it.
I thought about it for half a second.
Mm-hmm.
Same, getting LOL in my ass.
I'm glad you didn't.
Just
As like an
as
I'm
like
surprised
an
you wouldn't
homage
get, like,
to
a
starting
train.
comedy.
A little train, J
A
train.
little J train. Nah, you know what happened? I think what ended up happening is like tattoos came in like a flurry and like everyone was getting them. They did look really cool. Like I think
They
tattoos
are
are
permanent
cool.
though. Yeah.
Well, once I got over the hump, I think once you turn like I turned a certain age and didn't have one, like it felt.
You're too old for the past. The time has passed.
I think it's passed me by. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you hear about like someone's parent being like 70 and being like, "I'll get a tattoo," and you're like, "I can't believe you
Crisis.
exist."
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know.
What if she had pictures of her tattoos of her kids on her arm?
I'd be more okay with it, but no.
It's just a weird place to get tattoos of your
because
kids'
the kids
faces.
ones aren't like cartoons of kids. It is like a real rendering of a child.
Yeah.
When I've seen those kid ones,
It's a little weird.
It's like portraits.
Yeah. I just wouldn't be. I'm not. Honestly, it's not even sexual. I think I just wouldn't be into that look.
Shannon, you have tattoos.
Yeah.
Candace, you have tattoos? You have one. Would tattoos on a man? I guess, I don't know, maybe we're not the right people to weigh in on
Shannon, tattoos on the pecs of the kids.
Yeah, you're a guy with peck tattoos, full portraits of each baby.
Not your kids. Is it better if they're your kids? I don't even know.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how good they look. I've
What
seen
would
some ones
constitute
that look
good?
pretty bad.
Like it's a
If let's say
good,
they're really good,
a professionally beautiful baby on the peck.
each one.
I don't think it would totally turn me off.
Okay.
But
Really?
I'm not looking at that and being like, wow, so sexy.
Right. So you're saying at best neutral.
At best, I'm ignoring it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Candace, does your boyfriend have tattoos?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, if it was bad artwork, I feel like you'd get distracted and start staring at it. But even if it was good artwork, then yeah, I feel like your eyes just wander there, and then you're just looking at little Johnny, and you're just
Okay, well let's make
It's
it a little
weird. It's weird.
face tattoo. Would you fuck a guy with a face tattoo?
no.
Any face tattoo.
Any face tattoo.
I would.
Shannon's in.
Yeah, you're less judgmental than me.
Anywhere with it. Anywhere you wouldn't have a sex with someone if they had a tattoo?
Is it a deal breaker ever?
I don't think so.
No. Tattoo's like a beard. Like it's like you're either in or you're out.
Yeah.
I don't want like a poem. Like that turns me. That
you don't
gives
like words.
It kind of gives me the ick when guys have like long prose on their body.
Okay.
What if they have their name? Like, you know, like
Their name.
Brody Jenner and stuff, like doing the big.
Their
Ben
own-
Affleck
their
has that
own name?
giant
Oh my
phoenix
God.
on his back.
I
Well,
hate
the
that.
Affleck one
Brody
is
Jenner
so
has
shocking.
a big Jenner on his back, I think.
He has Jenner.
I think he does.
Well, his name, the name is a famous name. It's
what are
doesn't
you
even
turning
like
your
his
back
dad.
into a jersey?
no, they're not close.
No.
You unlocked a memory that I did once sleep with someone who had Kid Rock tattooed their face on the inside of their thigh.
Kid Rock's face on the inside of the. I mean, they must have been big fans. That's like
You
the
want to see
ultimate.
Kid Rock
to me,
every time they peed.
That's the most flattering thing that could. Imagine you're so big. You mean so much to someone that they tattoo your face. On
Joe
their body.
Rogan like posts them all the time.
People get them of him.
People get tattoos of his face all the time. You can look them up.
If you had to get one person's face tattooed on your body, would it be Tom Brady?
No, after the roast, I've lost. He's changed to me. I still respect the era,
Okay.
but the roast.
Really? Why?
It's strange he did it, even though it was it was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just like,
You lost respect. Wow.
I don't know.
You and Giselle. Both not happy.
We both don't look at him the same way. I would get. Who would you get?
Like a celebrity?
One celebrity, rest of your life, and where would you put it?
That's a tough one.
I know what I got.
Brendan Fraser.
Mine would be a fun picture of Judge Judy
Oh, that's fun.
on my
I'll take
ankle.
that one too. I
Isn't
like
that a
that.
fun? Like
Yeah,
Judge Judy
very
would be
creative.
fun,
Yeah.
or
By the
Guy
way-
Fieri, or Guy Fieri.
The thing is, you'd have to explain this to everyone.
Right,
That's the other part of, I guess, why I wouldn't get a tattoo. I don't want to like talk about
where it
my
came from.
tattoos, yeah.
Well, if someone wants to get a tattoo of us, they can.
Yes.
We would
I would
post it
love
on the
that. We would
Instagram.
definitely post. They would get a sweatshirt.
We'll also fuck you.
We will. What?
I mean,
Would you ever get your mom's face tattooed?
no fucking way. Are you out of your mind? Okay.
And your mom like saying something mean to you.
Oh! Her reacting to a video of me. I just wish you would look better.
Just wish she wanted you to take care of yourself.
Such a weird thing to say out loud. Also, thanks for the messages. I don't need. If I complain about something, this is too late to say it.
Yeah, at this
I
point,
spent
you're just
I
gonna
had a
get
mental
more
breakdown
now.
for the first 20 minutes of this podcast.
Oh, Menti B, spring Menti B.
Hello, Spring Menti B,
All right, let's do our last one.
an SMB. J&J, longtime fan listener here. Love you both so much. Well, love you too.
Enough to get us tattooed on your inner thigh.
Let's see what love is. I want to know what love is.
Great song.
Are you gonna tattoo me? I have a red flag deal breaker that has come to me via friend, and I need another opinion. My friend, we'll call her Anna, texted me over Mother's Day weekend asking for advice. Apparently, her cousin's boyfriend showed up on her Tinder. She wasn't sure whether or not to tell her cousin, considering he was celebrating Mother's Day with his girlfriend, the cousin, and the cousin's mom, and Anna didn't want to cause any awkwardness. Anna ended up screenshotting the boyfriend's Tinder account and sending it to her cousin after the weekend was over. Yeah, that makes sense. For context, the cousin and her boyfriend have been dating for years and are planning to move to another city together in the near future. When Anna's cousin confronted her boyfriend about the Tinder profile, the boyfriend claimed that on a recent bachelor party trip, he and all his friends re-downloaded Tinder as part of a game where they were competing to see who got the most likes. It's a great excuse. It's a great story that every man listening should tuck away. But
I
no
wouldn't
one.
buy it.
This is a great lie. Anna's cousin shrugged this off as being totally legit. See, it is a good lie, but I'm not convinced. So, what do you think? Red flag or deal breaker? Serious long-term boyfriend downloads Tinder for a bachelor party game, competing for likes, then forgets to delete it. Look forward to your thoughts on this. Thanks in advance. What do you think?
No.
Yeah, this is a no from. I'm sorry to turn on my own.
Even if he did it, I think for that reason, I think it's disrespectful. But I don't believe he did it for that reason. This is like the girl. Someone remember the girl wrote in. I don't know, a few months ago, saying that she and her friends were competing to see how many numbers that they could get or drinks they could get, and the boyfriend was annoyed by this.
Yeah.
This is like kind of a similar.
Wait, I think it's actually different.
How so?
Getting numbers doesn't mean. I actually think that's like the fun of a bachelorette party. I could understand. You play that game, don't tell your boyfriend or girlfriend about it. It stays on the trip. The minute you're like signing up for a paper trail, I don't know. To me, let's see how many numbers we can all get. I'm actually okay with. I don't know what I said.
You
back
weren't then.
I wasn't then. Maybe than that.
You've evolved since then. Yeah.
Apparently, but maybe the context of that email I didn't agree with.
Maybe there was more details. I don't remember them.
But at its face, hey, we're all at a bar. Whoever can get the most numbers, and then we'll count them at the end. Okay, I could see how that could happen on a bachelorette party.
Okay.
This, I can't see how my happily married friends are like signing up for a Tinder account.
Right.
Like I can't believe they would take the risk.
Maybe like as a joke, but you wouldn't actually do it.
I don't even think like this would come up and someone would be like, shut the fuck up. I'm not doing that. Like this is like, I'm not trying to make this guy into the most evil person alive, but I just don't buy it.
Shady.
I don't buy it's shady. I don't buy it as
also even
the reality, but I also don't buy it as something he would do if he was in a happy relationship.
Right. This seems like an excuse that you have in your back pocket in case you get caught.
That's why I said, right. This is a great lie.
And again, even if
not a believable one to me, but it's a good lie.
Again, even if it was true, it shows a lack of respect for me. One, you did it, made a whole profile. Mm-hmm. Two, you
did prompts and a bio.
I mean, you made it's an effort
for
men who are lazy. Fine.
What happens if what happens? Why even put yourself in the position of finding out who would fuck you?
Well, that's one.
Yeah.
Two, let's say he gets wrapped up in this game. Why wouldn't you then delete the profile immediately after the game? How long is the game lasting? You're just leaving it up there?
Right.
No, you have a profile because you're looking to date.
Right, and not being worried. Like, we live in an interconnected world. Like
that's what I'm saying. You don't even care that I could find out.
Right, and you're either stupid, like, and also, are you that stupid?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's disrespectful. It's like, you don't even care if I know. Even if it was innocent.
I don't,
You would tell someone, maybe.
Right. He's either stupid, doesn't care about you.
Or no, she's not good. Or no, she's turning a blind eye.
Right. Because she is.
Right.
The cousin already said that.
Maybe he knows this, like, this is kind of
their
relationship.
With this shit. Yeah. No, it would be a deal breaker for me if I found my longtime girlfriend.
Over 2 years. It's one thing if you just started dating and they don't know how to delete the app, whatever.
Right. No, that's a different story. No, but they go on a bachelorette party 3 years into our relationship. She goes on a bachelorette party, comes back. I find out through a friend that she has a dating profile. Oh, we were playing a game to see who could get the most likes. I'd be like, okay.
Right. I don't like that.
I don't like it. I'm out.
Bye.
Solve dating again.
Yes, we did it again. We'll be back on Sunday with Sunday Special.
Boom.
Bye. The U Up Podcast is produced by Candace Maniga and Shannon Sassone. Editing by Jorge Morales-Pico and Shannon Sassone. Social media by Candace Maniga. Be sure to follow at u.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.